Welcome back. So, after the very strong response to last weekend's video, Happy 2023, I'm still stuck in 2020, I have had to rethink how we are going to proceed with this, because to be perfectly honest with you, I was not expecting that. I thought you were all just going to say, oh, good Lord, Sue, you're getting so old. What's wrong with you? But no, so many people were saying, hey, wait, me too, me too. And it's like, we need to deal with this. Unfortunately, no one else is dealing with the fact that our entire society suffered a major trauma. And we did. We did. We are not the only generation to ever suffer a trauma, but in a lot of ways, we were a little less prepared for it than, say, our grandparents' generation, because they grew up with hard lives, with high infant mortality rates, with all kinds of problems they faced on a daily basis. But we baby boomers, we were kind of a spoiled generation. We didn't have a lot of hard times, certainly not compared to our grandparents who lived through the First World War and the Spanish flu and the Great Depression and, well, as I say, high infant mortality rate, not to mention that half their children would survive to adulthood. So we are going to start dealing with this. And we're going to begin when we come back. So, as I mentioned, I'm still going through the comments because some of them were just so enlightening. Some of them were tragic. My goodness. I look at that and say, boy, I had it easy compared to what some of you have gone through. And that is terrible. But we have a community here. And the point of having a community is that we can help each other take the next steps forward. So, one of the things that I am hoping to do is organize my surroundings because, as I mentioned, I really let things go. I just fell into sort of an apathetic, what difference does it make? Nobody's ever going to come visit me again as long as I live. Oh, pity poor me. And I need to sort of wrest myself out of that and stop acting like it was the end of the world, because it wasn't. And we are all still here. We all have a future to look forward to, and we need to start moving our butts. So what I did last week was I began cleaning out my closet. And I didn't take you along for the full closet clean out. That would have just been too depressing. I ended up with 3 35-gallon trash bags. They are about half full, which is all that I feel is safe to put in those bags, and then I can take them, and the organization that I'm donating them to will be able to pick them up. They won't have to struggle to collect the bags. I don't know how much they weigh, but it's not insignificant. And when I was cleaning out my closet, I realized I had things in there that I have not worn in 20 years. I had things in there that no longer fit me and are not likely to ever fit me again. And even if they do, they will be so hopelessly out of fashion, I won't want to wear them. And I really wondered why I was keeping those things, and it was habit. It just never occurred to me that I ought to get rid of them and move on. So, again, like I said, that apathetic state of mind that kind of set in. So, I did want to mention the organization I am donating them to. It's an organization called Green Drop, and you can just Google them and you'll find them. It's a charitable organization. They have a number of charities you can earmark your donations to benefit. The one that I do is Purple Hearts Veterans, because I do like veterans organizations. However, the National Federation for the Blind is also an organization that they work with. And although, oh yeah, here we go. This is like weird blind stuff. I never belonged to the National Federation for the Blind. I belonged to the National Association of the Blind. Yeah, there's sort of competitive groups, I guess. I never saw it that way. But there are two major organizations. NFB, National Federation for the Blind, is the larger of the two. And then NAB is an organization that broke off from the Federation a number of years ago. That's the one I belong to and have, like, ever since I was in the National Alliance of Blind Students. That tells you how far back it goes. So, it's a good organization, but my loyalties sadly lie elsewhere. The great thing about Green Drop is they are going to come to my house to pick it up. And I am in the middle of freaking nowhere, which means no matter where you live, I bet they will do a door-to-door pickup for you. You just have to make the things available. They give you a pickup date, and they will give you a date, but not a time. You just have to make sure your boxes, or in my case, your large trash bags, are available for them to pick up. And if you are planning to do any cleaning, downsizing, donating, they are a good organization to hook up with, because you put it in the bag and they will make it go away. And they will make it go away in a way that benefits others. So I thought I'd give them a little plug here. But once I got the clothes out of the closet, and my gosh, I have coating. When I started cleaning out the closet, I had completely run out of coat hangers. None left. I would walk around with something saying, what am I going to hang this on? And I now have so many coat hangers. One of these days I'll have to go in and give them a count and just see how many free empty coat hangers I have, because it's scary. It certainly tells me how much stuff I was holding on to that I didn't need. What I am going to take you along with, as I do it today, is sorting the shoes. Because, again, this is something that I'm not going to say I had like Imelda Marcos level shoes in the closet, but I certainly had a great deal more than I need, and a great deal more than I'm going to wear in the near future. So that was a little bit of fun. Now, before we start that, and I film that separately, because when I do these videos, I do it with a static camera that is attached to my computer so that I have all the technology. It's like being on a starship. I have a control panel in front of me. It's amazing. But when I film anywhere away from my control panel, I do it sort of remotely and then import that footage. So that's how I did this. And Audie was there through the whole process. So we're going to start off with a couple of pictures of Audie as he was helping me pull my shoes out of the closet. So here you go. Yes, this is Audie, uh, occupying the shoe space and evaluating the shoes. Now, once I got the shoes and the shoe boxes out of the closet and just dumped them all over the bed, Audie curled up on the bed and took a nap and just napped through the whole process. So let's take a look at the shoe sorting. And when we're through with that little video segment, I'm going to tell you where I ended up, how much I kept, how much I donated, and how much I tossed. So here we go. Well, what we have here are shoes. And this is, I think I counted 18 boxes of shoes. Now, I'm not sure anybody needs 18 boxes of shoes, because that not only represents 18 pair of shoes of one sort or another, but that doesn't count any of the shoes that are scattered around the house somewhere. So, for those of you who have been with this channel for a while, you know my motto is, it's not hoarding if you keep it in a pretty box. Well, sorry, but this is getting mighty close to a hoard. So we're going to take a look at this. So if you want to get some idea of the extent of my OCD behaviors, the shoes are not only in boxes, but they've got little labels on them telling me what color they are. Oh yeah. By the way, let me see if I can get this. You see that little black spot? Where is it? There we go. That's Audie. He's sleeping behind the shoe boxes. I think he found this a little overwhelming. So let's take a look at what is in here, assuming I can do this with one hand. Oh, I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to. Hang on. Okay. Shoes. Oh, I've even got socks to go with the little shoes. Oh my. Okay. Black with little, well, it's like sequins and rhinestones. So once again, if you've been a long-time viewer of the channel, then I'm sure you already know I like trashy shoes. The only time I'm really happy in a pair of shoes is if somebody walks up to me and says, how far did you have to chase that hooker before you got your hands on her shoes? These are black suede ballet flats, and oh geez, well, they're black and they're cute and I like them. I'm going to set these aside for a moment. Maybe they'll stay, maybe they won't. So let's see if we can find something suitable to be donated. Okay, this one says pink. And I really don't wear a lot of pink, so let's take a look. Pink suede ballet flats. Okay, these are going to be donated. I will save the box because, of course, I can pull the tag and stick something else in there. But yeah, I do not remember the last time I wore a pink outfit, and I certainly do not remember the last time I wore these shoes. So they will be exiting. Now these are tan. And they are actually kind of pretty in a trashy sort of way. But again, you know, I love trashy. Suede again. You know, the funny thing is, I don't really think I like suede shoes, but boy, I have a lot of them. These are going to go as well. I think, I think they need to go. Well, these are unmarked. There's no spot for a mark on that. So I'm going to have to do something about that box. I'm going to have to stick a little tag holder on there. So, yeah, these are maroon and gold and they sparkle. Oh, they are a couple of shades of gold. Yep, again, ballet flats. I have a fondness for those, but definitely hooker shoes. And they need to get out of here. I'm pretty sure I have another pair like this in blue. I'll have to look for them. Oh, here, look. The blue and silver shiny hooker shoes. Yep, they are going to leave as well. Oh my. What was I thinking? Gosh, I can't even begin to imagine. These are high-heeled flip-flops. Again, what was I thinking? Oh, I know what I was thinking. These are very soft. They have like terry cloth straps. That is a broken hip waiting to happen. And at my age, I really shouldn't be pushing my luck. So these shoes are also going to exit. Now, this is a pair that apparently never made it into the shoebox. Yes, leopard. Again, what was I thinking? These have to go. And here's its friend. Yep, out of here. Now this larger box, this is just a big, bulky box that will hold big, bulky running shoes. And as it happens, I have a pair of big, bulky running shoes. In fact, they're still in the original box. I've never worn these, but they are going to go into this box, and that should be fine. This makes me feel good. It means I have an extra box. Now this one, this is an even bigger, even bulkier box. I know what's in here. This is my snow boots. Well, these are my snow boots. I have to keep snow boots. Whether I like it or not, I am in Pennsylvania. The good news is I really don't have to keep massive snow boots, but definitely, because these are not at all stylish. These are designed for traction, for dealing with the snow, end of story. However, coming from New England, I have to say, I'm getting off pretty easy with a pair this small. Back in New England, no, these wouldn't even be considered serious snow boots. They would be a joke. But around here, it's pretty much all I need. So they stay, despite the fact that they are about as far from hooker shoes as one could get. So let's see what else we have here. I have a pair of very impractical flip-flops. They are flimsy, very flimsy straps. That is not my idea of a practical pair of flip-flops. But they are cute. But they are going. And here, oh look, yet another pair of pink ballet flats. I don't know how good the lighting is in here and if you can see that they are pink, but they are. And they are going. Because for a person who doesn't have pink clothing, I sure do have a lot of pink shoes. So, you know what this means? This means I've gotten rid of enough shoes so that I can keep that trashy pair of black shoes that I really like. So, I'm feeling good about this. I think I have a couple more pair of flip-flops that are probably going to go into either this pile or I will look at them and just decide that they're not fit to be donated and toss them out. I dislike tossing out shoes, but I just don't see donating something that, you would just be embarrassed to give away. So that's pretty much where we're going. I'm going to do a count and let you know where we ended up. I forgot these. These are actually weatherproof hiking boots. They're a little less clunky than the snow boots, but still totally practical boots, the sort of thing you have to have in a cold weather climate. So, and again, they're in a large box, see, big metal handles on it, because the boots take up a lot more space. So they too are staying. Okay, so I just counted up the pile here, and this is 8 pair of shoes. As I said, I do think a couple more are going to end up in the pile. So getting rid of 8 is pretty good. That doesn't make me feel too bad about keeping the black pair that I really didn't want to give up, even though I can't remember the last time I wore them. So I'm starting to feel pretty good about this. Now, the shoe boxes, as I mentioned, I can pull these tags and put another tag assigning a different color shoe to the box. But here, let me show you. All right, this one. Mostly because it's on top. I take regular boxes, and these are just little flip-flop stickers, and I just shove them on the box so that I know these are flip-flops. I do get excessive about this sort of thing. But these boxes, by the way, I think the overwhelming majority, perhaps even all of them, I picked up at Michael's. And you can get shoe boxes like this. They are called photo storage boxes. And you can get these at regular price. They are $4, and I looked them up recently, so I can say that with certainty. Most, if not all, of mine were $2 or under, because I wait and grab them when they're on sale. And some of them are just very pretty little boxes, very specifically shoes. Here's another very specifically shoe box. Again, it's not hoarding if you keep it in a pretty box. So I will update you eventually and let you know what the final tally was. How many went away, how many were thrown away, and what I was left with. Because none of my walking shoes, for example, my sort of everyday walking shoes, made it into this outrageous heap. Those are the shoes that I mentioned earlier. They're scattered around the house somewhere. So I need to gather those up, and we'll see what I am left with. But the reason, that's my excuse, basically. My excuse for having acquired such a massive batch of shoes is I simply haven't thrown anything away for a while. I have no other excuse than that, but yeah, nothing has been thrown out in a very long time. So this is actually a good opportunity to do that. I should tell you that all of those boxes are still on my bed, and once I finish this video, I'm going to have to go back in there and sort it all out, put everything away, because if I just dump them on the floor, I'll break my neck tripping over shoe boxes. So, the final calculations were 11 pair of shoes were donated. That was 4 pair of dress shoes, 1 pair of flip-flops. Those were the high-heeled flip-flops. It's okay when you are 15 and you do something like that, because 15-year-olds are amazingly agile. But at my age, boy, is that dumb. So, high-heeled flip-flops, 2 pair of house slippers, because while I was poking through, I found 2 pair of house slippers that I had purchased, didn't like, so I never even wore them. So, that's going to be pretty good for the donation. And a pair of skippies, little canvas shoes. They were Keds when we were younger. But my family always called them skippies because I guess as little kids we skipped around in those little white sneakers. I found a pair of those. Again, brand new, I don't know why I got them. Um, I never really liked them, so they got donated. What I threw away, oh, I'm sorry, the total on that was 11 pair of shoes. Kind of scary. What I threw away were 3 pair of flip-flops. The condition was really not good enough to make a donation. They were just a little too worn, and when you donate something, the people who are receiving it ought to at least be able to use it. You shouldn't donate things that someone else is simply going to throw away for you. At least that's my theory. I threw away 2 pair of house slippers that were just a little too worn to be of value to anyone, and 1 pair of skippies, because shoes like that, once you've worn them for a week or two, they really start to get worn and scruffy. So, no, they're not worth donating. So that's 6 pair that got tossed. And that is a total of 17. I kept 11 pair. And I need to seriously give that some thought. I kept 3 pair of walking shoes, Oxfords. These are just sort of everyday lace-up Oxford shoes that I think for a younger person, they would probably use sneakers or running shoes. These are a little less casual than that, and, more appropriate for a person of my advanced years, so to speak. But in fact, it's simply because I prefer a little bit of just slightly dressier than a sneaker, mostly because I do not wander around in t-shirts and blue jeans. I guess that's all there is to it. Let's see. I kept that black spangly pair of hooker shoes, and I'll explain that when we're through with this. The 2 pair of boots, because again, I'm in a climate where I need boots. I need snow boots, and I also need walking boots, because you can walk in snow boots, I guess, but I would not want to walk very far in my snow boots because they are huge and clunky and heavy, and they're not designed for walking. They're designed for getting me out the door when we've had a snowstorm. So 2 pair of boots, the 2 pair of running shoes, so the 1 pair that I've been using, and then the other pair, by the way, that pair of New Balance that I pulled out of the box, they've been sitting around for 4 months. Yes, I bought them 4 months ago and never even bothered to take them out of the box. You have too many shoes when that happens. I kept 1 pair of flip-flops, 1 pair of skippies, because I feel I need those, and 1 pair of slippers, for a total of 11 pair. And what that means is I started off with 28 pair of shoes. So, I was going to explain about the hooker shoes. When I sat down at the end of this little process and looked at this, I said to myself, I need to get rid of the hooker shoes. If I decide I want to get a pair of dress shoes, like fancy shoes, I really need to stop doing this, because it is, and I'll grant you, it's just a little self-indulgent eccentricity, but I really need to stop getting, like, hooker shoes. I need to get respectable shoes, the kind of shoes respectable people wear. I really do. So I was going to put those in the donation pile. Now, here's the thing. They will eventually be donated. I decided to hang on to them because if you paid attention to the list of what I'm keeping, there's not a single pair of dress shoes on it, except for those hooker shoes. So I decided, what if something happened? What if I needed to go somewhere that was simply a little too dressy for walking Oxfords? I needed a pair of dress shoes. So I'm holding them like a security blanket until I go and find something a little less trashy looking and a little more respectable. So this is where I ended up at the end of the day, with a whole bunch of boxes on my bed that still have to be, sorted and put away. And I was thinking, should I really put them away empty? Or is that just going to encourage me to fill them with new hooker shoes? And I think it is. I think if I have an empty box and I see a trashy pair of shoes, I'm just going to say, come home with me, baby. I have a box for you. So what I'm going to need to do is box up the shoes that are staying, and then any leftover boxes, I'm going to have to relocate them somewhere else. I'm not sure where it is, but it cannot be on the shoe rack in my closet, because I will be offering myself too much temptation. I know me. An empty shoebox is just, it's too tempting. It really is. So that's where I ended up. The whole process was the better part of a day, because even after everything was sorted out, I still had to get a shoe brush, clean the shoes that I was donating. I will still need to go in and clean the shoes that I am reboxing. So I'm not quite done yet. Was it worth it? Was this worth a day's worth of effort? Oh, yes, absolutely. Because what I had was a small, manageable project that absolutely needed to be done. And I can look back on this as an accomplishment. Oh, yeah, I can look around my living room and say, good Lord, it looks like, a vulture made a nest here. It's okay. I sorted the shoes. And that tells me I can sort everything else out. So, little by little, and I am taking my victories wherever and whenever I find them. And this was a victory. It was a small, manageable project that I could successfully complete, start to finish, in one day. I didn't have to worry about becoming depressed or overwhelmed or feeling like it was pointless. Why bother? We've all got COVID. No. I was able to pull away from that mindset because it's manageable. And when I go into that closet tomorrow, I'm going to have my nicely lined up little shoe boxes, and I'm going to be able to say, hey, we did this. So I encourage you to follow along. Maybe it won't be shoes for you. Maybe it'll be a dresser drawer or a kitchen cabinet or whatever. And maybe it's not even a physical cleaning project. Maybe it's something else. Getting out of the house, walking a block or two. By the way, that's something we need to start doing as part of this as well, because many of us have let our health issues overwhelm us. So that's what I have for you today. I am pleased with my accomplishment. I'm feeling proud of myself. The Green Drop people will be coming by on Monday to pick up everything that came out of that closet. And I will, again, let you know as things progress. So, for now, because we have so many people interested in our project, in moving forward with this, I want to hear from you about where specifically you want us to go with this? Do we want to start looking at cleaning? Are the rest of you looking at, oh my goodness, I don't want company in my house now? Or do we want to start looking at other kinds of life organization? Do we want to start looking at getting exercise, at getting out into the world, at pursuing hobbies and things of interest? You tell me where you feel you got left in 2020, and that is going to help us determine where we go from here and how we proceed, because at the moment we're just dealing with my crazy issues, but I am not the only one with issues here, and we need to all be here for one another. That's the point of community. All right, have a terrific day. We'll take a look at a slideshow on the way out, and I will see you all tomorrow.